going to roast a belly pork joint, very small, so it's only for 2 of us. You could get away with 3 or 4 actually, with lots of veg and stuff. And I'm going to be rubbing in some Szechuan peppercorns and sea salt. But first of all, I'm going to score the skin. It's already been scored, but I'm going to use a craft knife. Or you could use a Stanley knife, but same difference. And I'm going to cut into the skin. Now be very careful, like I'm probably not being. And the thinner you score it, the better crispy crackling you'll get. So if you score really thin strips into the skin, then you're more likely to get your crackling crisp because the salt can get right in there and dry it out, and that's what causes it to crackle in the oven. Now I'm going to, that's alright, you can see there how thinly that's been scored. I'll do a few more here, just really carefully. And then I'm going to rub in a salt and Szechuan peppercorn mix. I'm not being too precise. In fact, actually, leave it for a moment. I'm going to wash my hands first. Okay, I'm going to put in about, I don't know, about 2 teaspoons full of salt. I've used sea salt, flaked sea salt crystals, because I think that works quite nicely. And then probably about 1/3 that of peppercorns, even less, actually, 1/4 of that, because they are quite strong, these Szechuan peppercorns. So I'm just going to mix these all together in the pestle and mortar. So I want to get the mix quite fine, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it in, and it's going to marinate for a little bit, not long, maybe an hour and a half, before I roast it in a very hot oven, because that's how I'm going to get the crackling crisp. It's only a very thin piece of meat, you see, so it will roast quite quickly if you do it quite hot. Okay, that should do. It's got a really nice aroma. It's released all the scents of the Szechuan peppercorns. It's lovely. Now I'm going to serve this, when it's done, with quite a spicy stir fry. I'm going to use lots of nice fresh vegetables. This is January, and it's quite nice to try and do a bit of detox, although there's a lot of fat on it. But I'm hoping the veg will counteract the effects of the fat. So if you rub that right in, you really get that into the skin. That's where the crispiness is going to come into the crackling. Make sure you've got plenty of those peppercorns on the top and underneath as well. This obviously, once it's cooked, will not need any seasoning, because it's going to be salty enough. Maybe too salty, I don't know. We will see. But that's going to stay like that for about an hour and a half. Okay, now I'm rubbing in just a tiny little bit of olive oil at the end. And I've got my oven on at the very highest setting. I don't think this will take any more than about 15 minutes. Once the skin is crisped up, it should be fine all the way through, because as I say, it's a very thin piece of meat. What I have actually done as I've gone along is I've dabbed it with kitchen paper, because the salt brought out the moisture. So I took a little bit of the salt off and I went along. I'm just adding a bit more. I'm going to put this in the oven, as I say, highest heat for probably no more than 20 minutes. Once the skin is crisped up, I'm bringing it out, and I'll let it rest for a bit, totally uncovered. Okay, so I've just taken the belly pork out, and it's nice, crisped up nicely. I'm going to let it rest for a moment just to make sure that all the juices go back in. Probably about 5 to 10 minutes I'll let it rest. I'm not going to cover it, because if I covered it, then the crackling might not be as crackling as it is. I think that should be very nice. Okay, and if you try this, I hope you enjoy it.